You are not going deep enough. And I know what you probably think, Owen, what are you on about going deep enough? Walking about your back garden. I'm going to explain that now. But basically, with self improvement, there is going to be. Have you ever watched that movie Shrek One? Who hasn't watched Shrek One? Who remembers that scene in Shrek One where Shrek says that ogres are like onions? They have layers. Well, the thing is, Shrek is completely right, but it's not just ogres that are like onions and have layers. The truth is that people have layers too. If you're watching the video right now, you're going to see my dog on screen. This is Bailey. I don't normally actually record these at home, and she's probably wondering why am I talking to this ball on my phone on a selfie stick. But we'll continue on, and we're going to talk about really just really how to get the next level of change, because everyone has a goal. Everybody has very, very similar goals. I don't know anyone that doesn't want to be in really good shape. Even like people who are really out of shape and are semi okay with it. Like if you said that they could keep the current lifestyle that they have, but they could get into really good shape, most of them would be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take that. Everyone wants to be in really good shape. Everyone wants to feel great, to perform great. But it's actually about, right, well, it's about your why, but it's also about, like, right, what are you willing to do to get that? So I'm just going to set up my phone. We're going to sit down and we're going to chat about this concept. Let me just get myself in the middle. That is perfect. That is perfect. So basically, I've been doing a lot of feedback on my program and feedback with clients. And if you're a client, like, you know, I always hound you guys for feedback just to make sure that you are winning. And from the feedback, I've actually discovered a lot. And I've like reflected back to like when clients were signing up and sort of what they were struggling with, and how what they were struggling with has actually changed so much from now till where they were. And I know a lot of you people is obviously may have done bits and pieces of work on yourself. You may not have. You may be thinking about doing bits and pieces of work on yourself. So I just want to make this to sort of tell you about mistakes not to make, and especially when it comes to setting your goals. So I'm going to break this down. I'm going to use three different clients as an example. Two of them I'm just going to give a fake name, and then the other one does not occur, and he's happy enough with me actually saying his name. So yeah, basically, I have a client and he's called Niall. And when Niall came on board, he initially said to me that he was struggling with consistency, and he wanted to be consistent, and that he was in and out of his training and in and out of his nutrition, and he would have a week where he did very, very well, and then he might be off the gym for a month. And a lot of the time you can look at that situation and be like, all right, it's like clear as day what's going on. It's clear as day where the issue is. It's clear as day where he needs to improve. It's the consistency. But if you just say like, all right, it's consistency, you're never actually going to change. You need to actually look into what the deeper thing is behind that. And that's why I always say you need to go layers deeper. Because if you are not going layers deeper into why you want to change, you're not going to make a change, and you're not going to know you're not going to have any reason at all to make a change. So after then going into actual Niall's goals and getting to know him a lot more and getting to understand him a lot more, we found out that, alright, so he always grew up skinny and he always felt second best. So going into that, it's like, right, he felt second best. He looked in the mirror, he felt lazy, struggled to be proud of himself. He wanted to feel truly happy because he had a lot of it on pen and paper. He had a fairly decent job, he had a fairly decent friend group, but besides having that, he he wasn't happy. And that's a lot deeper than just, right, okay, I need to be more consistent. If you actually break down, and this can come from journaling, if you just journal down, right, why do I want to change? What is the purpose behind that? And you get that reason down on pen and paper, you're going to actually follow through with it. Like, do you really think that you're going to give up as easily if you know how important it is, and if you really get clear on how long you've been struggling with this and what the real issue at hand is? Whereas if you just say, all right, I need to be consistent, I wish I could be more motivated, nothing's going to come. absolutely nothing's going to come from that. So you need to be really direct and really precise on why you want to change. If you don't know why you want to change, and even if you're seeing small changes and you want to start moving faster, you need to really, really look into like, why do I want to move fast? You don't know your why, you cannot do anything. You cannot do anything. So yeah, and another thing that's going to help is just getting clear on why it's important to start from today. It's so easy to push things back, and even for me doing this podcast today, like I believe I'm a day late filming this. It's still going to come up at the same time, but normally I'll film this a day earlier. And I said to myself, "Oh, I'll wait until the XYZ happens. I'll wait until the evening. I normally film podcasts in the evening when it's dark. I'll wait for this. I'll wait for that." But nothing comes if you wait, and the best thing you can do is just take action, because the thing is, if you obsess over quality too much, and what I mean by quality, if you obsess over something being perfect and the situation being perfect, the scenario being perfect for you to actually start something, you're never actually going to start it. You're never actually going to go through with it. So it's so important to actually just sit down. How can I start today? How can I do this today? Why do I always say, right, I'll start on Monday? Why do I say I'll start next weekend? Is because I use this word a lot, self-sabotage. Are you self-sabotaging yourself? Because it happens with a lot of people, and it's easy. It's easy to self-sabotage, because as humans, we're going to have a bias towards ourselves, and we're going to tell ourselves bullshit, and we're going to start to believe that bullshit, because there's only one person inside our head, and that's us. And whenever you're inside your head and you've been telling yourself these things for years and years and years, then it's very hard to actually let go of those old beliefs, because you've obviously picked up those beliefs. They've always been there, and that's where it's good to actually have someone to challenge you on your beliefs. So I always surround myself with people that challenge me on my beliefs. Like, I of course have friends that support me and are like, "Oh, and this is great, this is amazing what you've been able to do," but you do need people who are going to challenge you. You do need people who are going to say, "You know what, the way you're doing this, it is wrong." And the times when I've improved the most, the times when I've got so much better, that is when I've been challenged. So if you're currently not where you want to be, you need to look at your circle and be like, right, is anyone here even challenging me? And that doesn't mean they need to be actually verbally challenging you and going up to you and being like, you need to change, or like, everyone listening to this is gonna have different goals. I hate I hate trying to like tell you that I know what your goal is, because I don't know what your goal is. Your goal could be fat loss, it could be surrounding yourself with better people, it could be productivity, it could be improving your sleep, it could be, as I say, becoming the best version of you. There's a lot of different things that you could be doing. It could be starting a business, it could be writing a book, it could be becoming a DJ. Like, there's so many things you could be doing, but whatever it is, look around your circle. Is there anyone there that is actually going to challenge you? And if you like stopped doing whatever you're working on tomorrow, will anyone actually like show up or text you and be like, where are you at? Why aren't you doing anything? Because that is going to help. If like, I even the people I surround myself with, my friends, like, if I stopped uploading videos, or if I stopped doing something or working on myself, there would be people who would be like, Owen, where are you at? What are you doing? Wise up. You need people to challenge you. And if you are not getting challenged, you need to look at your circle, and don't need to ditch your old friends. You need to just figure out, right, how can I actually get someone to challenge me? Do I need a certain level of accountability? And that's not me pitching coaching. Of course, will coaching give you that accountability? Will it give you that challenge? Has it given Niall that challenge? Has it allowed him to actually have the ability to move forward with something and to change his life? Yes, but do you need it? No. Like, you can do it, but you need to look at, right, why haven't I did it? Get clear on why haven't you did it, and flip and do it. And yeah, get clear on what's going to happen if you don't do it, because whenever you're clear on what's going to happen if you do not do something, and you actually get yourself to the point where you're like, right, I don't want this outcome. I don't want to sit in the same position for the next 6 months. I do not want to sit and think for months and months and months about doing something. And the worst feeling ever is when you've had an idea about doing something. It could be you've had an idea about doing a certain piece of content. It could be you've had an idea about being the first person in your friend group to get in really, really good shape. The worst thing ever is when you have an idea about doing something and someone else does it before you. It is hard, because it's like, right, I waited for the right time. And you can wait for the right time, and the right time, a better time might come. But the thing is, you do not know what's going to come of the future. And 9 out of 10 times, the right time doesn't come, and the right time is now. Because if you do something now, if you start today, you'll start learning from today. You'll start moving forward from today. You'll start making mistakes from today, but mistakes aren't a bad thing, because as long as you make the mistakes and you move forward from the mistakes, well, you're still going to be ahead. If you get two people, one of them lives his or her whole life with no mistakes, the other person makes a bunch of mistakes. Provided the person who made all the mistakes learned from the mistakes, they're going to be ahead. So if it's uploading content, right, whoever makes mistakes with content, they're going to learn, right, that idea didn't work, and then they're going to be closer to what actually does work. If it's fat loss, if you've actually done stuff before in the past and it hasn't worked out, that's not a bad thing. It actually just means you know what's not going to work for you, which is very, very important. Very, very important. And another thing to think about that you don't want to happen, and I've seen it happen before, and this has happened with another client. It's whenever you might have this a lot of time, where you're scrolling on social media and you're seeing other people get the result you want, and you let that get in your head. You need to realize that every single person is different. Every single person's time frame for when they get results is going to be completely different. Every single person's genetics is going to be different. And I've seen it over the course of everyone who I've coached. There's people who literally just need 3-4 months of being consistent at something, and they can completely change how they look. There's people who need a year, who need years. But the main thing is making it work for you. Like, I've worked with people with PCOS, and of course, does that make it sometimes more challenging for certain things? Yes, but it's as long as you're actually doing what you need to do to overcome those challenges, there's no reason you're not going to move forward. So yeah, don't let it get in your head if you see someone, they're like, oh, they got this result really, really fast. Don't get annoyed about that, because you just need to cut down your barrier for what a win is. If you say a win has to be me changing so much in a month, like if you say, right, a win for me is losing 4 kg in a month, and then in a month's time you lose 2 kg, well, that's a loss for you. Whereas if you just say, right, a win for me is showing up every day for myself, it's hitting what I need to hit, it's doing the cardio I need to do, it's doing the training I need to do, and it's eating the foods that I need to eat, well, that means every single day you're going to win, because your barrier for winning is doing those things every day. Whereas if your barrier for winning is set outcome or a massive outcome, it's so much harder to win, and it takes so much longer to win. So you need to cut down what your barrier for winning is. Same goes for if you want a new job. If you say, right, I need 3 job offers to be happy, to be a win, well, you might be disappointed. Whereas if you say, I'm going to apply for 5 different jobs every single day, and then you start to understand, right, if I apply for 5 different jobs, maybe 2 of them might get back to me, I might get 1 interview. I do 5 different jobs every single day. That's 7 interviews a week. This is a very random example, but whatever it is, in your work, if you're knocking doors and selling something, I need to knock on 100 doors to get 5 people to say yes. Your barrier for winning shouldn't be everyone saying yes. It should just be like, I need to knock on 100 doors. Focus on making the process enjoyable. If you focus on making the process enjoyable, the outcome will come a lot faster, and it'll shock you, the outcome that actually comes, and the outcome will just be a bonus rather than having to have that outcome to be happy. And that's why a lot of people aren't happy, because they set the barrier for winning far too high. So lower that barrier for winning one step at a time. You don't need to know the whole mountain. You just need to know, right, I'll take this step, and then I'll take this step, and then I'll take this step, and then I'll take this step. Okay? Hope that makes sense. So yeah, do not let that get in your way. And then the last thing, this is just from my final example. So you need to. I'm just looking at this example of feedback that I've got from someone coming on and thinking, how can I actually help you with this? So yeah, so you need to look at what is it costing you not to move forward, because if you're not moving forward and in the back of your head you're like, oh, I could be better, oh, I know I could be doing more, I know I could be looking better, or you're seeing other people, again, like I said the last time, you are seeing other people and they are getting results really, really fast, and you're looking back 6 months, 3 months, and nothing is changing for you. You need to get really, really clear on what that is costing you, because if you aren't moving forward, and if you're not clear on what it's costing you, well, you're never actually going to make that decision to move forward, because you're going to be like, right, I'll just push it off, push it off, push it off. But you actually need to look back, right, in the last 1 month, how much progress have I actually made with the goal that I have? In the last 3 months, how much progress have I actually made with the goal that I've had? And if it is nothing, what have you done every day? And if you have been doing things every day and it hasn't worked, well, you've clearly not been doing the right things. You've been working hard, but you've not been seeing an outcome for the work that you have done. Or you might actually find that you're not doing the work at all, and you're either in two boats. You're doing work, but it's, well, no, you're either winning, three boats. You're either winning because you're doing the right work, or you're doing work that isn't getting the result or the outcome that you want, or you're not working at all. And which one of those is a problem for you? Which one of those do you need to tackle? Are you clear on the importance of actually tackling that thing? Because if you're not clear on the importance of tackling that thing, you're never going to move forward. And again, it goes back to what I said at the start. It's like an onion. There's going to be layers. And the outside, you're going to be like, right, I need to be consistent. I need to be motivated. I need to be disciplined. I need to be productive. You're going to throw out all these buzzwords. You're going to be like, right, I need to get more done. I need to be more efficient. I need to eat better. I need to train better. But what the fuck does that mean? That's nothing. Why do you want to eat better? Why do you want to be more productive? What is the outcome that's going to come from that? And what happens if you don't do that? Get really clear on it. Go really, really deep. Be clear on the time that it's wasting you too. Be clear on how it's making you maybe feel stuck. And if you're not okay with feeling stuck, you gotta flip. I hate being the guy online that goes, oh, you just have to do the work. But you need to realize what you've done up to this point hasn't been working for you. So what are you going to do now to move forward, to march forward, and to hit your goal? So yeah, whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is you want to do, whatever big goal you set for yourself this year that you want to achieve coming into 2026, or you might be listening to this in the future, whatever it is that you want to do, please go deeper. Please go layers below. Don't just look at the surface, because when you look at the surface, like, you don't actually know what's down below, and you don't actually know, you're not going to move forward. You won't. So yeah, hope that's useful. Hope that helps. And just another point before I go, I want you to make sure you're not self-sabotaging. So what sort of lies could you be telling yourself that isn't serving you? Again, your brain can sometimes work against you. Your brain can sometimes convince you that what you're doing right now is right when it's not, or that you are being productive. And you could be being productive, I say that in quotation marks, but you're not actually going forward with what you want to do. So like, you could be quote unquote eating good, but you're not losing weight. You could be quote unquote doing your ice bath every day, doing your sauna every day, doing your journaling every day, but you're not actually achieving what you want to achieve with that. And yeah, of course, doing all that stuff, it can be productive, but if you're not actually moving forward, well, you're not doing the right thing. Period. Now, that is it. Not gonna go on for any longer. I hope my point and my rant has came across nicely, and you don't fall out with me. This has been the Dialed In podcast. If you find this useful, send me a message. Let me know what you find useful about it. Let me know what you're actually going to implement off the back of this. And if you haven't found this useful, well, I don't know how long was this? This has been 20 minutes, so I'm sorry for wasting 20 minutes of your time, but if you haven't found it useful, you probably would have went off, so you more or less likely find this useful. So yeah, send me a message on Instagram how you find this, rate and review if you can, because it goes a long way. And that's pretty much it, guys. Keep winning, and when they ask why you're doing what you're doing, tell them it's the year of the Dialed In. Boom. Thank you very much.